Hi, everybody. It's Deborah from PeopleLovingAnimals.com. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching my video today. Today's video is called Why Do Dogs Eat Rocks? Unfortunately, I have some personal experience with this issue that I'm going to be sharing with you in today's video. But in the video, we're going to talk about the 3 most common reasons why your dog might be eating rocks. And we're also going to talk about some solutions to how to stop it. One of them is surprisingly simple. But I do want to say right at the very beginning of this video, if your dog is eating rocks, it could be a symptom of a very serious health condition. And the first thing you need to do is take your dog to the vet. Now, the solution might be very simple, and we're going to talk about that in today's video, but it can be a very serious problem, and you do need to let your vet know right away that your dog is doing this. Now, if you have not been here before, I have a website called PeopleLovingAnimals.com, and several times a month I do videos all about the health and care and training of dogs and cats. So if you're interested in this sort of content, if you have a dog or a cat or a puppy or a kitten who you would like to have some help with on a regular basis, I would love to have you on board as a subscriber. Also, in the description box of the video today, I'm going to give you a link to go ahead and subscribe to my dog lovers email list. If you're on that list about once a week or so, you'll get an email from PeopleLovingAnimals.com, and it'll be a blog post or an article or a video all about dogs. I think you'll find it very helpful. And as a free gift for subscribing to that email newsletter, I will give you a free dog training manual. I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the video today. So I hope that today's video is helpful. If you've been here before, you might be wondering about the crate that's behind me there. I just adopted a kitten. I'm so excited. I'm thinking about maybe doing some videos about him and with him on this channel. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and subscribe. I've had him a little less than 2 weeks. His name is Whiskers, and he is a semi-feral cat. So if you want to know what that is, and if you want to know what that's like, you might want to go ahead and subscribe, because I think I'm going to do some videos about him, because this is quite an experience. But that's his crate there in the back, and I've been doing crate training with him. He has been out of the crate for about 3 days now. I put him in at night still, but he's doing pretty good. Right now he's napping. I don't know if he'll wake up during the video or not, so we'll see. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. As I mentioned, I do have a website called PeopleLovingAnimals.com, and we're going to use this article on the website called Why Do Dogs Eat Rocks to kind of guide us in today's video. I'm not going to read the article to you. I'm just going to use it as a guide so that we make sure we cover all the points for today's video. I will give you a link to this article in the description box, and I'll give you a link to anything we talk about in the video. Everything you need will be in the description box. So, like I mentioned, a dog eating rocks can be dangerous. It can be dangerous for their teeth, their gums, and hugely dangerous to their digestive system. Eating just one rock can cause choking. It can cause an intestinal blockage. If they have an intestinal blockage, you're not going to know until it's too late, till they start showing symptoms and stuff. So it can also be a symptom of some kind of serious things going on. We're going to talk about this in the video today, but like I said, the first thing to do is always to call your vet. Let your vet know that your dog is eating rocks, and keep your vet in the loop. Now, why does my dog eat rocks? When a dog eats dirt, rocks, grass, paper, or other non-food items, it's called pica, P-I-C-A. I give you a link in the article for kind of a definition of that. It's a phrase used for when the dog is eating things that are not food. Okay, and there's a lot of reasons for this we're going to talk about. Some of the most common reasons why dogs would eat things other than food, such as rocks, are first and foremost medical issues. They could have a mineral deficiency. Now, this is a very simple solution. Now, I had a little miniature dachshund named Maggie several years ago. And all of a sudden, she was out in our driveway eating rocks. And I noticed it. And I'm like, what are you doing eating rocks? And the poor dog would actually yelp when she pooped, because she would eat the rocks several of them, and then she would poop them out, and it was painful for her to poop them out, and she would yelp, and I tried to discourage her, tried to get her to keep doing it, kept moving her out of the driveway. She kept doing it. So I took her to the vet, and the vet said she could very well have a mineral deficiency, and he suggested giving her a daily multivitamin. It worked. I gave her the vitamin. She never ate rocks again. So it might be a very simple solution for you that your dog might not be getting enough minerals and nutrients with his diet. So I'm going to give you a link in the description box for a couple of multivitamins for dogs. And I'm also going to give you a link to an article on my website about quality food for dogs. So those resources will be available for you. So that is a very common issue. This is a very common solution. Step 1 is to call your vet. Step 2 is to put your dog on a multivitamin. It's not going to hurt to put your dog on a multivitamin, but again, keep the vet in the loop. The other medical reason why your dog might be eating rocks is a neurological condition. This could lead to things like compulsive behaviors and confusion. Okay, if they're having compulsive behaviors, they might be doing this as a compulsive behavior and they can't stop themselves from eating rocks. If they're having a problem with confusion, they may just be confused. It's maybe similar to their food. They think it's food. Okay, again, this is a serious issue that your vet can decide if your dog is experiencing. Certain medications can cause dogs to eat rocks and dirt. The most common one is prednisone. I can't pronounce the other one. Phenobarbital, I think it is. And other anti-seizure drugs have also been known to cause this. So again, keep your vet in the loop. If your dog is on a medication, you need to call your vet and say, you know, my dog is eating rocks. It could be a side effect of the medication. Your vet needs to know. Also, liver disease has been linked to this as well. Again, I cannot stress it enough. Call your vet if your dog is eating rocks. And if you would like more information about the medical reasons why your dog eats rocks, I'm going to give you a link to an article that talks a little bit more about that. But your vet is the best source of information on this subject. Now, the second reason your dog might be eating rocks is boredom. You know, dogs that are left unsupervised or left by themselves, especially a puppy or a young dog, they just get bored. You know, they start pushing the rocks around with their nose. They start flipping them up in the air. You know, they're just playing. They're just trying to entertain themselves. And before you know it, they decide they're going to start eating the rocks, you know, so it could just be boredom. And I'm going to give you a link to a variety of some interactive toys. You're going to see this picture on Amazon. This is a nice interactive toy. They've got ones for puppies. They have one that gives the dog treats. They have lots of interactive toys. And that might be something that you can do to help your dog, kind of entertain himself. Also, if your dog must be left alone, now obviously you'd never want to leave him alone in the driveway or wherever he's eating rocks, but if he's having a problem with boredom, a nice chew toy might also be a really good aid for your dog to help him to not eat rocks. Also, you should be making sure that your dog is getting enough exercise. Make sure that you're playing with them enough. Make sure that they're getting enough walks, because if they're bored, you know, they just might need a little more going on, you know, so just think about that. It may be as simple as that. As I talked about, I'm going to give you a link in the description box to go ahead and sign up for my email list, and I'm going to give you a free pet training manual in that. I'll email it to you if you go ahead and subscribe. Also, the third reason why your dog might be eating rocks is stress. They could be doing it because of stress and anxiety. I once had a coworker. I worked for a large law firm several years ago, and I'll never forget this guy telling me he had an enormous dog. I don't know what breed the dog was, but he was an enormous dog. He was black. He was long hair, and I remember his name was Bear. The dog's name was actually Bear, for good reason. But the dog would suffer from separation anxiety, and he ended up getting permission to bring the dog to the office sometimes, because this dog was suffering a lot with separation anxiety. By the way, I do have a video about that on my YouTube channel if you want to go ahead and get some information if you think your dog is suffering. But anyway, the dog suffered so much with anxiety whenever this guy would leave the house. One day, the dog ate the kitchen mat, physically, literally ate the entire kitchen mat. Okay, so, stress and anxiety is serious for dogs. It really is a serious issue, and they can come up with some really destructive behaviors. You can come home, your couch is ripped apart. I had that happen with a beagle puppy once. I had a beagle puppy named Daisy, and I got home one day, and my couch was literally ripped to shreds. She had a full-blown anxiety attack while I was gone and ripped the couch to shreds. So, eating rocks, again, they do compulsive sort of behaviors when they're stressed out or they're anxious. So it's a serious issue. I'm going to give you a couple links. I'm going to give you a link to my article called How to Calm Dogs with Anxiety, Why They're Anxious and How to Solve It. That has a nice video in it that's going to go over some of the reasons why your dog might be stressed out or anxious. And I'm also going to give you a resource from Doggy Dan. If you've been here before, you've heard me talk about Doggy Dan. He is a professional dog trainer and a behavioral specialist. He runs the website called theonlinedogtrainer.com, and he has a training called the Dog Calming Code that is specifically made for dogs with anxiety. It's not expensive. It's super effective. It's step-by-step training. So I'll give you the link to that if you think your dog is doing this out of anxiety. And if your dog is eating rocks, think about what else does he do? And you might come to the conclusion that your dog is suffering from stress or anxiety. So that is one of the other reasons why they might do it. Now, how to stop your dog from eating rocks? There's a few things you can do. Now, once your vet has ruled out medical reasons, once you're sure his nutritional needs are being met, after you've addressed any stress or anxiety issues, you might try some of these techniques to get your dog to stop eating rocks. First, you do need to understand that basic obedience training is crucial for your dog, not only to keep them from eating rocks, but to prevent them from engaging in any dangerous behavior for their whole life, such as if you have a dog that's running near the road and he doesn't obey your command to stop or to come. This can be a life-saving thing if you have given your dog basic obedience training. So, for example, your obedience training having to do with your dog eating rocks or anything he shouldn't eat is to teach him commands like leave it or drop it. Okay, so again, this can be a life-saving thing for you to be teaching your dog basic dog obedience. Same beagle puppy named Daisy. I remember she was quite young. I was visiting at my sister's house. My sister lived on a country road. There wasn't a lot of traffic. So Daisy was allowed to play in the yard with my sister's dog, and they were without leashes. There was hardly ever any traffic. Well, wouldn't you know, a car comes down the road, and my sister's dog ran across the road, just ran across the road, and my little Daisy was following. I saw it, I opened the front door, and I looked at her, and I said, "You stay." Thank God I had done obedience training with that little beagle, because she did it. She stayed. She did not go out in front of the car. Now, luckily, my sister's dog made it across the road and was not hit by a car, but this is just another example of, not just eating rocks. If your dog is eating anything or doing anything that is going to endanger the dog, they've got to listen to you. So what I can suggest is, if your dog starts eating rocks, tell him to leave it, say leave it or drop it. Leave it is better because you can say leave it before they have it in their mouth. Okay, not that they're going to understand the difference between drop it or leave it, but you understand, say leave it in a firm but calm voice. Say it as soon as you see them even sniffing around the rocks. If they're going towards the rocks, you just say leave it in a calm and firm voice. Don't yell. It's only going to startle them. And if they're already near the rocks, they might gulp those rocks up really quickly because you've yelled at them. So just say it in a calm and firm voice. Now, once you say leave it, you need to redirect the dog somewhere. If the dog is doing something you don't want to do, you have to give the command for them to stop it and then immediately redirect them to something else. Now, if you're in your own yard or whatever, to have a toy or a treat, a chew toy, something you can give them instead, leave it and then give them this, say leave it and give them this. You're redirecting. If you're out on the walk or if you're in a park, first of all, you might want to carry something in your pocket, carry treats in your pocket, carry a little chew toy, carry something in your pocket that you can give to them instead of them eating the rocks, or also just continue on the walk. Just say leave it, and continue on the walk. You know, you're redirecting them. If you've been here before for my dog training videos, you're probably sick of me saying that dogs are very cause and effect. They do this and this happens. They do this and this happens. They do this and this happens. So the best way to train them is to use a repetitive behavior. If they leave the rocks, they get a treat. Now, you don't necessarily have to give them a treat. You don't necessarily have to give them a chew toy. The reward might be just a simple good boy, pat on the head, give them some love, talk to them in a sweet voice, because your affection and approval does actually mean a lot to your dog. So when he's doing it, he goes for the rocks, he tries to eat the rocks, you say, leave it, redirect him, and then reward him in some way every time he does it. And you just keep repeating until eventually it's a new habit for him not to go for the rocks, okay? Now, if you need more training for your dog, I'm going to give you that link for Doggy Dan's The Dog Calming Code. If you think that your dog's eating rocks has to do with stress and anxiety, I would suggest you go to that one. If you just want some help with basic dog obedience training, I'm going to give you a link to Doggy Dan's video series called The Easy Way to an Obedient Dog. It is a free video series. It is step by step. It's a very, very good training. It's going to give you a ton of help. So I'm going to give you a link to that 4-part free video series from Doggy Dan on dog obedience in the description box. So let me just do a recap real quick, and then I want to just tell you a couple more things before you go. First of all, the dogs eating rocks can be dangerous. Please call your vet if the dog is doing it. Second of all, it might be a simple nutritional deficiency. Not only do you want to check the content of what kind of diet is your dog getting on a daily basis, but give them a multivitamin. Okay, and again, keep your vet in the loop on this. Have your vet check for any other medical issues the dog might be having. Keep in mind your dog might be bored. They might need more exercise. They may need some toys. They may need some some sort of entertainment, stimulation, more walks, that sort of thing. And also realize your dog might be doing this because he's suffering from stress or anxiety. Go ahead, read the article, watch the video that I'm giving you, and go to Doggy Dan's The Dog Calming Code for some professional advice on dog anxiety. Also, I'm going to give you the link to The Easy Way to an Obedient Dog for some basic help with just basic obedience training. If you have not been here before, you don't know that I donate to animal charities. I do peoplelovinganimals.com as my job. And the way that I do that for my job is I'm what's called an affiliate marketer. I research products and services that have to do with the content that I write for my website, and I apply to those companies to be an affiliate. They give me an affiliate link, and if I recommend their product or service, I get a small commission. Now, that's how I earn money. That's how I do this for a living. I donate 10% of all of those commissions to animal charities. And if you go to the homepage of my website, peoplelovinganimals.com, you will see a list of the animals, to the animals I donate to the animal charities that I donate to. So I hope so much that this video was helpful. Again, if it was, please give it a like. It really helps YouTubers when you do that. Go ahead and subscribe if you would like. Go ahead and subscribe to the email list. Get Doggy Dan's little free dog training manual as your free gift for subscribing to the email list. And go ahead and read the articles and watch some of the other videos if you need some more help with these issues. I would love it if you would comment, come back and comment, tell us, were you able to get this solved with the suggestions I've made here? It'll help me, and it'll help other people who watch this video in the future to kind of get an idea of what other people tried and what worked. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope I've helped. My name is Deborah, and my website is peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks again. Bye-bye.